back in YouTube. Call of Duty 24/7, ladies and germs, Jesus and Einstein. It's your boy Kaiser Soze, the one you love to hate, hate to love. Probably the one you just hate. That's cool. I'd like to start out by giving a shout out. A couple of shout outs actually. One to Mojo, aka Mojo Reason, aka Mojo Potato, because Mojo Potato is pretty fucking awesome. He's one of my fellow moderators over at Call of Duty 247.com, COD247.com. Come check us out. I'd also like to give a shout out to DM Outlaw. He made my sick intro. Thank you, DM. Your stuff is ridiculous. I will post a link to DM's YouTube page in the comments for this video, or excuse me, in the description for this video. This is some gameplay of me on Stonehaven with the USR. Recently I tend to not use any type of secondary with my snipers because I think it forces me to use the sniper and nothing else. I don't have a crutch, you know, to fall back on. I can't just switch to my pistol and try to pistol someone. So I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I'd like to give a disclaimer. I want to say that I talk about some pretty fucked up shit, and obviously I cuss a lot. I will occasionally make reference to acts of extreme debauchery. So if you're a 12-year-old squeaker, you probably shouldn't be watching my shit. Maybe just mute it and watch the gameplay. Hope you enjoy that. Probably not for your common housewife or maybe soccer mom. But I mean, I'm here for the common housewife and the soccer mom. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. Anyway, let me get right into this QA commentary. Excuse me, Q&A commentary. I left off with Nettles. Hopefully I said his name right. Last time I mispronounced it. It seemed like he kind of wanted to stab me or something. So hopefully I said it right. His first question is, what are my top 3 list of guns? I'm gonna do top 4. Nettles. I think the MSBS, even though I know it just got nerfed, we'll have to see what it's like after. I may have to change this assessment. But prior to the nerf, MSBS, the AK-47, then I'll go the MTAR. MTAR is a great all-around submachine gun, probably the best. And then the K7. The K7 is a great submachine gun, great close quarters, built-in integrated silencer, and it's just, you know, a good gun. Oh, you're just getting pooped on by that guy. Anyway, then he asked the same question again, but I guess I'm guessing that he probably wanted to know my worst 3 guns. So I'm gonna give my worst 3 guns to, let's say, the Vepr, that submachine gun. I think that submachine gun is terrible. Maybe I just can't use it correctly, but I think it's bad. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't care for the ARX. I think the ARX is a terrible assault rifle. Way too much recoil. Not that recoil is everything, but I mean, to me it doesn't do the damage for the recoil that it actually puts out. I don't think it's worth it, you know. The drawback isn't worth the benefit. And then finally, let's say, I think the SA-805. The SA-805 isn't my favorite assault rifle by any means. I don't like it very much at all. Nettles' next question. What are your top 3 list of kill streaks? I'm not a big fan of kill streaks. I prefer specialists. But since they neutered specialists so much in this game, I do use assault. And randomly, like very occasionally, I'll use support. I guess my favorite 3 assault streaks are probably going to be like the dog, because it's such a bitch fucking... It's so funny. Look at it. See that guy right there? I just killed. Like, he's probably spawned right there maybe a second earlier. And then look at that. And then that guy probably spawned there a second after I spawned. The spawns are just so terrible in this game. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Honestly, I don't. Anyway. My favorite 3 assault kill streaks, probably the dog. It's super annoying. I mean, I hate dealing with it. You kill someone and just all of a sudden this pooch runs around the corner and, you know, bites you in the fucking balls. I mean, granted, I guess, you know, maybe they're entitled to 1 free kill. Look at that long shot through the fucking tag. Nice, huh? seeing as how they earn that kill streak. But it's still just kind of annoying to me. But I still use it because, I mean, it will get you one free kill pretty much. And sometimes more than that. I like the fact, honestly, what I like more than it killing people for me is that it growls. And whenever there's an enemy near, the dog will growl and kind of give you a warning. And I like that a lot, actually. I think it's kind of like an early warning system. I would much rather it do that and not even kill people, just to let me know that someone's there. But it's neither here nor there. I like that. I like the Battle Hind. I think the Battle Hind's pretty good. It's not great, but it's not bad at all. Look at that. Double them up real quick. And I think the chopper gun is pretty good. I'm not a fan of the Loki, but that's probably just because I don't know how to use it yet. In all honesty, I've only used it a few times, and I've never really practiced using it. So I don't know what all the buttons do and all that shit. I don't really pay too much attention. I'm just trying to, shoot people. So I'm just aiming for people and pressing the trigger, which is probably the stupid way to do it. Nettle's next question. Rate every Call of Duty game from 1 to 10. I've only played, honestly, in all honesty, 4 Call of Duty games. I played the original COD 1. Look at that. How did I hit marker that dude? Like, the only thing that was showing was his head. I hit marker him, and he just fucking kills me. Bullshit. Anyway, so I played Call of Duty 1. I thought that game was fun as fuck. That game was hilarious. Ooh, look at that. You like that double kill, huh? You used to be able to run around and pull out that old school grenade, the one where it has a handle and you twist the fucking bottom before you throw it. And you used to be able to beat people to death with that thing. That shit was fucking hilarious. Right? Like, you'd run up on someone camping or whatever, just unsuspecting, and just start hitting them with this fucking silly looking grenade. And you'd have to hit them like 5 times. It was so stupid, but it was hilarious. Because they're sitting there fucking, you can see them, you can see their gun going everywhere, like, what the fuck's going on? They're looking for who's hitting them or why they're taking damage. And then by the time they really realize it, they're dead. I don't know. That shit was hilarious to me. I'd give that game like probably a 7, maybe 7.5. That was a fun ass game. Then I started really more recent Call of Duty games on Modern Warfare 3. So I'd give Modern Warfare 3 probably probably a 6.5. I think it was a decent game. Actually, maybe more like a 6. It was a decent game. They messed a lot of things up. The connection was decent most of the time after the initial push, right? Because initially the connection was pretty bad. I think we should all remember that. Then I played Black Ops 2. I liked Black Ops 2 a lot. I liked a lot of the ideas that they put out. I liked the fact that they pushed people to play the objective. Infinity Ward games don't, and that's just fucking retarded. But I did like Black Ops 2 a little bit more than Modern Warfare, if they could have got the connection right. So I'll give that like a 6.5. This game, I'd probably give like a 5.5. I think that they really screwed some things up in it. I think the connection's pretty good, like for a Call of Duty game, especially initially. The connection is really good for what it usually is. Connection's usually pretty terrible initially in these games. So I gotta give, my hat has to go off to them for that. Like, they got that right. I think, ooh, you like that? He jumped, still got him. They usually mess that up pretty badly, and they got that right. I like the guns. I like the movement. I think the movement's really smooth, and the aiming's really smooth. I like a lot of the textures in the maps. I think a lot of the maps are, even though they're too big and somehow are implemented terribly, I think the ideas that they had initially to come up with these maps were good. The Stonehaven map right here, I think it's a great map. I think it's a fun map. There's lots of long sight lines. There are some little buildings to hide into and stuff like that, or hide inside of and stuff like that. That's great. I don't think there's too much to hide in this thing. I do think that they should get rid of stupid things like the target finder, or I don't know if they don't call it target finder in this game, I forget. That and the thermal scope and things like that. I think it would make the game a lot better as far as, make people use their eyes. Make people actually aim and use their eyes to find people. Don't just put a big red fucking halo around them or paint them white. Look at this, watch. See that guy white right there? I saw him at the corner of my eye, but it was a lot easier to find him when I aim. Look, this guy too. See that? I saw that guy at the corner of my eye. I have pretty good, far vision. I'm far-sighted, so. But I think if they took those things out to make the game better. So yeah, those are my ratings, my long-winded ratings for the 4 CODs that I played. What's the meaning of life? The meaning of life is happiness. The meaning of life is I got a full trying to head glitch on that wall. Got shot in the head. It's to be happy, you know, whatever that may be. I know some people have twisted senses of what happiness is. Some people think that happiness is pussy or money or advancing in their career, things like that. I guess your happiness should only extend as far as it doesn't infringe upon another's happiness, right? You need to be cognizant of the fact that other people should be happy as well. But I am also a utilitarian at heart. I do believe in the good of the whole over the good of the individual. All right, next question by Nettles. What are my thoughts on the war in Syria? Honestly, I don't have enough information. I could say something, but I really wouldn't have any, you know, there'd be no foundation, there'd be no backing, no research done on my part to actually, you know, support my opinion. So I think I'll refrain from answering that. Maybe I'll answer at a later date. I'd have to read some stuff on it to really give you a good answer. Next question, PS4, Xbox One, neither. I'm not going to buy either of them probably for about a year. I don't think there's any point. I'll wait for the price to come down a little bit, and then I'll buy one. There are plenty of games that are on 360 or even PS3 that I could just go out and buy used. I'm sure I could get a console. See, spawn right in the fucking front of that dude so he can kill me. I'm sure I could get a console pretty cheaply when the new ones come out. So, I'm sure I can find lots of games and stuff to entertain myself without buying the next gen. What's my favorite sport and why? My favorite sport is football. I like football a lot. I played all 3 sports in high school. I wasn't, of course, great on any of them. Look, this all new era guy sent me a message. I remember this cat. This cat was the epitome, aka the epitome of kill whoring in an objective-based game, like a fucking scrub. So I gave him some shit and he sent me a message. I'll show you guys the gameplay later. He was camping with an MSPS like a little bitch, not picking up any tags. I'll probably do commentary on objective-based gameplay later. So, yeah, football. I think football is great. I did play basketball and baseball too in high school. And I thought those were fun as well. I thought that football, there was a lot more camaraderie in football. I'm not saying that, you know, I didn't feel like I was on a team in baseball or basketball. You did, you know, you run, you sweat with those cats. You work your ass off. You take the losses, you know, you take your lumps, have the victories together. You form a bond for sure. But I think football's a little bit different. I think football's a little bit different because it's quite often that you're bleeding or sweating or hurt, and you got your guys next to you, you know, on offense or defense. I was lucky enough to be able to play both ways. You know, that depend on you, that need your help. And you guys have to operate as a team. You know, you can't let each other down. So I think that's kind of why I feel football is one of my favorite sports, or my favorite sport overall. What quality would I lose if I had to? The ability to see, speak, or hear. I think it would be the ability to speak. I think that God gave us one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. I'm sure you've probably heard that adage. One of my favorite sayings is that a wise man speaks because he has something to say, and a fool speaks because he has to say something. And I try as much as I can not to just say something, but to actually have something to say. I know a lot of times it doesn't necessarily work out, but that's what I try to do. Besides, you could always learn sign language, right? I mean, how hard could it be to say, you know, I want a blowjob? How will the world look in 50 years? I think the world will look exactly the same, except with more people and more smog. Like, really. Oh, you see that guy camping? See? That's... Jesus. Anyway, yeah. More smog, more people. I don't see the world changing all that greatly in the next 50 years. I think that technology does take its places, but I think that people will often over-exaggerate what technology is going to do for us in the near future. You know? So next question. Next question is on to Ishtings. Am I religious? This, I will admit, is a ridiculously complex question, even though it seems super simple. I like to give reasons for everything that I say. And for me, it's really difficult not to go into like a 30, 40-minute explanation of why I actually am religious and believe in God. I actually did the commentary and it ran into like 4 gameplays. and I realized, man, this is just too boring, too long-winded. People aren't really going to be feeling the science behind this. I mean, not that I'm all super scientific, but a lot of people don't want to listen to that, you know, in the commentary. It's really, it would get much too in-depth for I think what a lot of people want in the commentary. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of what I actually went too far in depth in the last time. So like I said, I am religious. I grew up in the church. My parents are Christian. Went to plenty of Bible studies. Read quite a bit of the Bible. And so I understand I'm pretty biased in my viewpoints on certain things. And I try not to let those biases influence me incredibly or basically close my eyes to other options or other ways of thinking. I think that's when we really screw up as people, when we allow our biases to influence our potential learning, right? I've been to different churches, seen different people pray or worship in different ways. You know, one of my best friends is Sikh. Another one of my best friends is Muslim. I have another friend that's Hindu. I have lots of friends that are atheist and agnostic. Take your pick. I've been to a Messianic Jewish church where those are Jews who believe in Jesus, so they actually believe in Jesus, but they celebrate all the holy days, right? They celebrate the Hanukkah, the Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Passover, things like that. So you learn the backgrounds, the history, the Jewish history of all those things, and how to celebrate them. Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. It's a really interesting religion. Judaism and Messianic Judaism are both very interesting. I took a world religions class in college, not because I had to, in all honesty, just because I wanted to, because I thought it would be fun. When I finished college, I finished with over 300 units and 2 bachelors of science. So I'm a pretty well-rounded individual as far as knowledge goes. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not going to say I am. I'm not even fucking close. I know that. But I do like to learn different things about different things. Right? I like to learn. I took a dance class, for example. I took a class on world religions. I took a class on Shakespeare. We're getting into another gameplay, just so you all know. This is a gameplay on Warhawk with the AK-47. I like the AK. It's probably my favorite assault rifle. I think that maybe for some reason the rate of fire fits just nicely with whatever lag I am or am not getting. And the rifle usually works pretty well for me. As I was saying, I took a lot of classes that I didn't necessarily need to take, and I took them for fun. I didn't take them because I wanted the credits. I sure as hell didn't take them because I needed the credits, right? You can graduate, or I think you get senior status at like 180 credits or something stupid like that, and I had over 300, so it's pretty ridiculous. I took the classes because I wanted to learn stuff. You know? I thought Shakespeare was interesting. You know, we read Much to Do About Nothing and The Tempest and a couple of other Shakespeare books, and it was really interesting to listen to the professor's explanation. And that's why I took world religions too, because I thought it was really interesting to listen to the professor's explanation about different religions. Up until the end of the quarter, we had no idea what religion the professor actually was. He didn't let us know. He hit it really well and explained every religion that we covered as if he actually believed in that religion. It was really good. It was a great class. So, but even though I grew up religious, I have a lot of misgivings about religion in general. I mean, and I have even misgivings about the specific religion I believe in. I feel like I'm Christian, but I still have misgivings about that. Look at that, nice double kill, huh? I have misgivings because some of the things that they say in the Bible doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's where I think part of belief is just actually having faith. See that faggot just camping there? You have to have faith, right? And you have to have faith in a lot of different things and just kind of believed that some of what was said for particular reasons, and I know some of it was situational, some of it was only for that time. So some of it should actually, in all honesty, be dismissed. I think some of it is no longer holds relevant for our day and age. But that's neither here nor there. It's a longer and more in-depth discussion than we're trying to get into right now. I just want to say that regardless of whether or not I have misgivings about religion, science is not truth. Science is just what we perceive and what we know right now, right? It's just our best guess at things. And that's fine. I don't expect scientists to be perfect. I don't expect them to know everything. And scientists are actually, look at that lights bullet kill. Scientists are actually make a lot of mistakes, like a lot more than people realize. People tend to take science as the ultimate truth. Look at that through the fence. That's nice, huh? And it's not. It's not. Scientists mess a lot of things up, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But science is a work in progress, you know? Just like someone's spiritual life, just like someone's career, just like their life in general, you know, with kids or with a wife or a girlfriend. It's all a work in progress. You all work towards getting better. That's the whole point of it, right? Now, a lot of people will take science as truth, as fact, as absolute. And I want to show you guys some of the things that science messed up. I'm not going to go too in depth. You guys can look them up yourself. But they're really funny, and there are a lot of them. So prepare yourselves. If you want to know about them, you better grab a pen. And I mean, this isn't all of them. This is just some of the ones I looked up. Scientists used to believe that you could bleed people to help some of their ailments. Like if you were sick, if you had consumption, aka tuberculosis, and you're coughing up your lung, the doctor would grab a knife and cut you open in certain spots and let blood flow out of you, thinking that it would help you. And this is entirely silly, we know it is now, but back then they thought that would actually help. Scientists used to believe that the world was flat. I mean, we all hear this, you know, the world isn't flat or whatever. It took them over 1,000 years to realize that the world was not flat. I believe it was Copernicus who finally got them to understand and proved it. Chemists used to be called alchemists, and they used to be called alchemists because they believed that they could transmute certain elements into other elements, which is absolutely silly. You know, they even believed in the Philosopher's Stone and all that shit. Yes, 12-year-old squeakers, Full Metal Alchemist did not create the transmutation idea or, you know, the alchemist term. That terrible anime was not the inception of those ideas, but they did basically take some things from history, you know, because scientists really did believe you could transmute elements, which is absolutely silly. The Bohr's model of the atom was entirely incorrect. Niels Bohr believed that the electrons circled around the atoms, or excuse me, circled around the nucleus in just perfect little circles. And we know that now that that's not, as far as we can tell, that's not how they do it. They do it in different orbitals, SPDF and hybrid orbitals. It's been a while since I've had chemistry, but if you guys are curious about that, look it up. You know, Bohr's model of the atom. Scientists used to believe, astronomers used to believe that the Earth was the center of the universe. Not even just our solar system, the center of our universe. They even did things like created faux orbits for the planets to try to explain why the path of the planets was the way it was. They made something called concentric circles to try to explain why the planets moved the way they did, thinking that the Earth was the center of the universe, excuse me, which is absolutely silly. They thought that the stars were put into the sky, or set into the sky, kind of like raisins in pudding. Basically, like the stars were just fixed in the sky. You know, like you take some pudding, drop a few raisins in, and that's kind of how the stars were, you know, put into the sky. It's hilarious. Scientists used to believe that certain vestigial organs didn't do anything. They believed that they were basically useless, like they were non-essential or just remnants of our biological past, of our evolutionary past. Silly, in my opinion, but, you know, some of them believe that stuff. We later find out that they're wrong as far as the tonsils go. The tonsils are actually a disease-fighting organ. They trap bacteria and other things inside them. I want to say particulate matter. I can't remember, though. They trap those while you breathe in to try to protect your body from getting, infected with things. The spleen. The doctors believe the spleen did nothing before, so they would remove it all the time. They actually found out that the spleen houses a lot of monocytes. Monocytes are white blood cells. They found that the spleen actually houses about 10 times the amount of monocytes as blood does. So it's like a storage device for monocytes, these white blood cells. And those are incredibly important for your immune system. If you ever hear anyone talk about HIV, or if you know someone with HIV, they'll talk about their white cell count, their T cell count, right? And that is the white cell count, which are monocytes. And those are actually essential to their immune system. That's why they try to keep tabs on them. That's why I'm trying to tell people that science is not absolute truth. That's not how it works. 2nd century Greek doctors believed that the liver circulated blood. They believed that the heart circulated something called vital spirit. They believed that the blood ebbed and neat, kind of like the tide, like a lake, not necessarily flowed like a river. They believed that organs used blood as fuel, and they consumed it, which is absolutely silly. That idea lasted until the mid 1600s. Doctors used to not wash their hands because they thought there was no big deal before they went to surgery. They would cut one open and not even wash their hands, and that's just ridiculous. They thought that if someone got sick, it was because they had an imbalance in their humors. Look up the humors. That's another funny one. Or that's because there was bad air, which is also ridiculous. Anyway, this is just some of the examples that I have to show you guys that science is not necessarily fact. It's not always absolute truth. So we shouldn't base our ideas just on science, because science is often wrong. It's our best guess at the time, but it's not necessarily the truth. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to finish this commentary up next time. I'll get into other reasons why I think that religion is actually just as valid an option to believe in as science. And science is just a belief. Now, I'm not saying that science is voodoo or tomfoolery, but you have to take certain things with a grain and understand that, like I said before, it's a work in progress. But it's still a belief system. It still makes some assumptions that you have to basically have faith in. Anyway, until next time, it's your boy Kaiser Soze. Peace.